Hello, everybody! How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of Behind the Music. Today we will be joined with R&B singer, Calgary based Kuzi Cee. So excited to have him here. If you're into Chris Brown, y'all, you want to stick around for this entire conversation because I am telling you, Kuzi Cee is Calgary's Chris Brown. No word of a lie. Go see him live and you'll see it. We are beer eyes. I'm not joking.
Hey,
What's
how are
I'm
you?
good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm getting all the feels when I'm listening to your music. It's insane. You're so charming,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
How have you been?
I've been good. Just locked in the dungeon. I'm at the studio right now,
Oh, sweet.
kind of between sessions, but been locked in the dungeon, getting ready for this project to come out.
That's so exciting because your last album was giving us all you took us through the phases of love, like from the butterflies in the stomach to the let me flatter you with all these compliments
Yeah.
to the very end of the relationship too, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, so what can we expect from this next album? Like what season of your life are you in now?
I think this is so the way that I've been treating all the projects so far is that they've kind of just been parts of a play, is the way I like to see it. So part one was
Okay.
Now Here From Nowhere, and then part two is going to be Butterflies and Roses, and then this part coming up is going to be part three, which is kind of like the climax of the series. I like to say. I'm not sure how much I can say, but I think I can say title at least. It's going to be called Heartless Romantic. So to just be exploring
Romantic.
different
How can
elements
you
of
be
that.
a heartless romantic? Wait a second.
You're gonna have to listen to the songs to find out the feelings involved.
Listen, okay, and that's it. That's all we get.
Yeah, and for now, roll out's on the way. You know, the vibes coming.
That's crazy. Heartless romantic.
Yeah,
So, what are you manipulative? Is that what you're saying?
it's kind of a myriad of emotions because it's like, were you manipulative or were you just not ready to love? Have you not fully healed from everything that's happened in the past, or
Hmm.
where do you sit in love? Are you open to it? Are you still closed off to it? Me, very much. I'm open to love. I'm in love. I love love. You know, that's just one of my
Yeah.
favorite of mine. But the character that we get throughout the story of the EP, you're kind of just exploring where he's at mentally, and kind of where his state is within love.
Okay. Okay. Where he's at, where his status. So, not you, a character.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. I'll take it. I just want to stop for a second and say hello to everyone joining. I see Tamia up there shouting us out. Okay, okay, but it's still R&B or is it EDM? Because the recent tracks that you've been dropping have been very like EDM oriented, pop EDM, of course.
Yeah. No, it's something I even talked to the homies about. I was like, damn, can I even say I'm an R&B singer anymore? Considering the last like four songs that have come out have been EDM and pop. Like, but it's very much R&B. I do dabble a little bit into hip hop, a little bit into the Afro beat, and of course, I can't just leave the EDM space. You know, that place is. I like it there
Yeah,
a little bit. You know.
but I love it though. Like I feel like the EDM phase was great. It was great to see you do that, and it was like it seemed like a collaboration season for you too.
Yeah, it was a big collaborative effort. Especially shout out my brother Shay. Me and him are on the pen for all of those songs. I feel like when me and Shay get to create, it's just like we just get to push each other from a writing perspective to get the best quality that we can out of each of us. And obviously on the mix, you know, mixed by Shay, don't miss. It's only
Right.
hits from that side. So it's always love, and it's always a pleasure to connect with my brother.
Okay, so all of those collaborations were intentional.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, well, good on you because those people, like the people you chose to collaborate with, are based all around the world. Like someone's based in Turkey, another person's based in India. Like that was
yeah,
awesome.
it was a cool experience, and like I feel like music really translates languages. You know, you don't
Mhm.
have to speak the language, but you can feel the vibe, you can feel the aura of everything going on. So being able to create and tap into these different pockets was definitely a blessing.
Dope. And so you said your homeboy was able to connect you with those people, and that's how you guys did you hop on a Zoom or like how did it all work?
Me and Shay would pull up to his studio. We picked a beat for the day, and then just get to writing. Really, see what we can create, see what we can
Oh
push
wow.
back. But
Wow. All right. Okay. Well, that's lit. And that was a big part of your 2023. I think like most, if not all of the songs that you released in 2023 were collabs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I only had, I think No Stress was the only one that wasn't a collab,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
rest was either those with Khan, with Steam Funk, and then the two boys RVPTR and High Days.
And then Doozy from
Yeah,
Edmonton.
you know those. I had to. That's my brother for real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I saw you guys perform live, I was like, there's a deeper connection here. This is not just like you're an artist, I'm an artist, let's do something. Like there's something bigger going on here.
Yeah, those are cool guys. I feel like it's not often in the music space that you find somebody that like kind of thinks the exact same way that you do, kind of similar upbringing, and then kind of just in the same positions in life, you know. So it was just when we first linked up to make our first track, it didn't come out, but we had a couple of tracks in between, and then finally landing on Iris to
Yeah.
come out as the lead single, and it was always something that both our fan bases just always kept pushing for us to work to each other, but they didn't know in the background
Okay.
that we had tracks, but we just kept hush hush.
That's so crazy. And how did you guys initially meet?
Just kind of through the music biz, honestly. Like, I think
Mhm.
probably at a show. I want to say the first time I performed for Roy Woods was the first time I think I actually met those in person. And then ever since, we just been locked in.
Ah, dope.
What up,
That's
Julian?
dope. That's dope. Do you have more collaborations with him then?
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. We were honestly
Yeah.
gonna drop a little project. Who knows?
Oh.
We might let it go. Who knows?
Yes, well, the people need to know. The people need to know. Before we get too like lost in this conversation, because you have achieved so much, and there's like a lot to talk about there. But what inspired you to start pursuing music in the first place? Did you watch a Chris Brown video and you're like, I want to be him?
That's a good question. I like to describe it as, so I'm the youngest of six, and then the one just immediately above me, her name's Leo. So she was the singer of the family. She had the karaoke machine, she had the keyboard, and then I was the younger one, so she could bully me into singing backups. So that was kind of how the story went, and then eventually, very locked in with Chris Brown. I think growing up, that was probably one of the few artists that consistently was getting played in the household, besides Michael Jackson, besides Usher, but very R&B centric household. But yeah, she really got me into music at a young age, and eventually I started rapping first. Shout out Big Leap, that was my rap name back in the day, and then eventually I switched to singing.
All right. Okay. So what made you switch then from rap to R&B?
Uh, I was chilling with some of the homies, and then we were just vibing on the Northwest and just hanging out, and they found out that I could sing. But this was like something
Okay.
that I kept really low key because like when I was growing up in junior high, it wasn't cool to be the singer. You had to be like the
Yeah.
athlete. It wasn't cool to be like the kid that sounded like Justin Bieber at the time. But so I just kept it kind of hush hush. They found out I could sing, and then once they heard me actually sing in the car that day, they're like, "Yo, bro, like maybe you should switch it up. Sing a little bit on these tracks." Yeah, there it is. Phil. Yeah, Phil was one of the homies too, but he was like, "Switch it up,
And so fresh.
maybe put some
Wow.
vocals on it." And then ever since, like, I slowly started transitioning from rapping to singing.
Okay, okay. And so how did you feel when they told you that? Were you like nervous or were you like, bet, I'm glad you see it too because I didn't really want to rap anyway.
It was an interesting time because I just didn't know how to sing and how to approach singing. Like I could sing other people's songs, but to create my own stuff and create my own lane of sound was very difficult to me as a vocalist at first. But rapping came a lot easier.
Okay, okay, okay. So rapping was like your safe spot and then you're like, okay, I guess I'll sing. And here
Yeah,
you are.
took a little bit to figure it out, but we made it this far. So hopefully something.
Listen, that's what's up. That's what's up. And along your journey, I can't imagine it has been perfect all the way through. Have there been any like challenges or just things that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, people used to say I sounded like Jacquees, and I had to, and this was back when he was getting memed for that like type. So I
Yeah.
had to I had to readjust and evaluate so that I could kind of like distance myself from that and to become myself. And I think overall just
Yeah.
finding my own voice in my own lane. But overall struggles, I'd say the pandemic obviously hit everybody in the creative space very, very drastically, and it was like trying to readjust and find your new lane to create, but from home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so were you one of those people or like, all right, Time for a home studio. Let's do it.
That was the first thing I got. Shout out the government for the serve checks. That was the first thing I got was an interface, a microphone, a laptop, just so that I could record at home. And then I started sending tracks to Shay.
Wow, look at that. How long have you and Shay been working together for?
Since the first project, honestly. So what's that, like
Yeah.
2019, I think.
That's crazy. Since the first track in 2019, and here we are in 2024.
Yeah, it's been a long time working, grinding, but it's been a journey.
Sorry, say it again.
It's been a wonderful journey to like kind of get through the phases of it so far.
It has, but it hasn't. Like I feel like you're one of those artists that like kind of like went not necessarily viral, but like people were quick to pick up on your talent, and then like opportunities kind of just like came flooding your way.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
a big part about kind of the opportunities as well on that side of things is just like the team on the back end too. Like my two managers, Nick and Sean, shout out to those boys. Like they work as hard as I do making the music, trying to push the music and get it to people's ears, and I love them to death for that.
Nice, nice. And how long have you had a team in place?
Kind of the whole time, realistically. Like there's
Since
always been
since
some people.
2019?
Yes, there's always been some people in regards to what I'd send them to, what I'd need help with, but official titles like fairly recent, like 2-3 years.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's amazing. That's good to know too, like just for other emerging artists kind of out there, because obviously that has worked out for you very well. On your resume, on your little bio, you love to boast about the fact that you've performed on stages with Big Sean, Ludacris, Flow Rider. There's so many Tyga's on the list as well. That's crazy. And so when you were able to either open up or just share the stage with these artists, did you ever get a chance to talk to their teams or kind of like talk to them? Did you get any like wisdom?
Yeah, for a couple of them, they drop gems. They pull up to like the dressing rooms or like the shows that I was part of as a background singer. They'd pull up and just like, chop it up with us and
Yeah.
kind of just inspire us to be a lot better for either the show, for the moment, and just like rise up to the occasion. Like I feel like throughout the entire journey of it all, I think the one that does stand out would definitely be Roy Woods and Michael Bublé as kind of
Mm.
top game and wisdom. Like Roy definitely from the R&B side of things and like understanding my performance, how to deliver that, and like just overall recognition in general. And then of course Michael Bublé being one of the largest artists in Canada, let alone the world, like being able to just kind of absorb.
And with Michael Bublé, you worked with him multiple times, right?
Yeah, I was a backup singer for 2 stops of his Canadian tour.
That's amazing. And so what was that like?
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, to walk into the Saddle Dome from something that you see from the Flames games or like, well, I went to Mount Royal, so the MRU versus UFC games, to being able to be one of the performers on that side of things. Then this guy walks in looking all fly and like the 3-piece suit, hand tailored, customized, shining shoes, voice sounding like butter. It was just inspiring.
Yeah, but you were also able to like be there and be a part of it and share the stage with him. I can't imagine. And then, so you were saying that you were able to get some wisdom from him as well.
The one thing I definitely learned from him was like just presence and aura, being able to like run the stage, stay present, and see everything going on. Like he's performing in front of 20,000 people, but then in the Edmonton show, 1 out of 20,000, he sees this like corn cob tattoo that takes him back to a memory. So he stops the entire show to tell this story. Mind you, he's a comedian too, is what I learned that night too, because this guy got jokes for real. And he tells a story, it gets the crowd going, and then he ties it back to bring it back into the set.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Have you been able to apply any of these like tips and like these things that you've observed throughout the years by just like working with artists like him to your own performances?
Definitely, definitely. I think I try to teach each of those moments and take a little piece of something that I can implement into my show, whether that's being ready with the right equipment and just having everything lined up and ready to go, showing up to sound check with a good energy and good vibe so that nothing gets pushed back like the notorious sound checks do, or just overall standing on stage, being able to kind of sync with the dancers and dance, deliver the vocal performance and accentuate that part of the show too.
Man, you're such a professional. Like, that's amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. And then also, 2023, you were able to work with Jessie Reyez. So that must have been cool too. I like Jessie Reyez. I'm
Oh
more of a
man,
Jessie Reyez fan than a Michael Bublé fan.
honestly, one of the people that, because when you're on those stages, you have your own in ears, and you can kind of hear the live take of the vocal performer, and her voice is just amazing, immaculate. And to see her do it like 4 or 5 times in a row in soundcheck, I was like, damn, like I need to work on my stuff over here because this is not hitting like
Did she hit
that
the high note during sound check as well?
every time.
I think it was like the last note. She held it forever.
Yeah, every single time, didn't miss.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. What was it like to be a part of that gig though? Was it last minute? Because I remember following a few of y'all and it seemed like it was kind of like a little bit last minute, but also kind of just industry.
I think from the side of posting, I don't know. I don't remember exactly the dates, but I don't know if we all posted like
Yeah.
very quickly. But we found out a decent time to like get the
Okay.
rehearsals in and stuff like that. But it was
Okay.
definitely a daunting experience because we had the entire stadium, and then as well we're live on TV, which is like a whole nother beast to worry about
Yeah.
because that's forever. They're not getting that one back. You mess up, you do anything wrong, like that's it right there.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. But I'm so happy you were able to be a part of it. Like it's the Junos. That's basically the biggest music day in Canada,
Oh yeah,
essentially.
it was crazy, and to see like kind of the full production that it takes to run the Junos, to see like there's probably 2, 3, 400 people just working in the back to make sure this thing can go smoothly.
Yeah,
Amazing.
production crew, no joke. Especially the camera. I was there live too. I was there in person, and I was just so intrigued by the camera dude that was on stage. And he had the person behind him, and he was just like always in people's face, and then he would like walk backwards. And, like I was so entertained by that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and so recently you just posted your 2023 audience reach throughout the year with all the performances together. You've been able to perform in front of over, I think it was 46,000 people.
Yeah.
That's incredible. When you're looking back at everything you were able to achieve last year, what is your proudest moment now?
I would have to say the show in Germany. I posted it on my Instagram too. I said 7 a.m. in Germany. Can't believe that they heard of me. Like the Drake lyric from "Do Not Disturb." It was just like an eye-opening experience to be in a different continent where English might not be the main language that everyone speaks here, but everyone's in this room and like I'm looking into the crowd and I'm seeing people sing "Puzzle," a song that I did in my basement studio and just sent off to get mixed and mastered. It was truly just a humbling and eye-opening experience to see just how far the music can reach people and what music can really do to bring people together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the fact that they were even singing the words, like that's insane. You don't get that energy everywhere you perform.
Yeah, it's not often. Sometimes you got to teach, and that's a little thing that I like to implement into shows is trying to teach the crowd the lyrics and get a little back and forth to break it up. Just because
Yeah.
with an opener, like people aren't really there to see you, so you really got to stand out and try to hold your own against whoever the guy, the girl, or whoever the headliner person is.
Yes, yes. And you always do. You always do. Obviously, you did at that performance, and you continue to do so. That's what makes you such a memorable live performer, I think, as well. And also the fact that you're just like down to dance and like jump in the crowd when needed. Like, I love that about your performance style.
Thank you. Yeah, I find a lot of fun with it. A lot of people kind of on stage get to like doing a bunch of this and just kind of stand there. But I mean, it's a party after all. It's like I got the aux cord for the next 15 to 20 minutes. We're gonna run through a couple tracks. Let's vibe together and get it.
Yes, it's an interactive exchange of energy. I love it. I love that so much. Awesome, man. One more thing I wanted to talk to you about your TD Connection series. I felt like it was so cool to have an Alberta based person a part of that lineup because I feel like there's so many initiatives that TD funds and TD does in Ontario, and there's so many mentorship programs for artists in Ontario that, and a lot of the time it is applicable to Albertans and like people elsewhere, but they don't know about it. So it was really cool to see your name a part of that. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience, how it was for you, and what was some highlights?
I think definitely the highlight was just the crowd in general. I think everybody came to have a good time. Everybody came to turn up. It was a Thursday night, so these Thursday shows you never really know what you get, just because
Yeah.
people sometimes save that energy for that Friday. They're gonna go out and have a good time with their friends. But overall, the entire TD music family was just very welcoming. Like I'm just a kid in Calgary, that kind of makes a couple songs here and there,
Yeah.
and for them to just allow me to get onto the stage, let alone for 45 minutes, and be able to share the stage with some of these titans in the music industry, like Preston,
Right. Yeah.
Lucala.
Yes, it was in collaboration with Light and Cardinal Official.
Yeah, there's just a lot of heavy hitters, and just to be able to be presented the opportunity to rise to that occasion and tell my story and where I come from and vibe out with the crowd. I think overall, just everything about it was just amazing.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. And so that was a live concert series that happened kind of across the country, Alberta, Vancouver, Halifax, and there was one more province. Were you just in attendance for the Calgary one, or did you get to like travel around?
I was just on the Calgary show.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so happy you were able to be a part of that. And then I'm sure you got mentorship through it as well, too, right? Whether directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
From Cardinal?
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but I did talk to Cardinal at a different event. Like, I think we did the Hip Hop 50 event with 10 at 10 for Hip Hop 50 celebration. So we got to talk there, as well as in a room with a bunch of other local artists too. And yeah, it was good to just pick his brain, get some wisdom from one of the greatest to do it, especially coming from Canada.
Yeah, and like now he's an A&R for Def Jams in New York. Yeah. So like that's just someone that's good to know in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, is there anything that you wanted to touch on that we haven't got to chat about as of yet?
I mean, I guess we could talk a little bit about the project.
Yeah.
But, the project's going well. Heartless Romantic. Stay tuned for something in March, towards the end. Okay. I think I'm allowed to say all that. I don't know. I don't see.
Okay. Are you dropping?
So I guess we good.
Do you plan on dropping anything for Valentine's Day?
No, I'm gonna spend Valentine's Day. Lover boy C. I'm gonna spend Valentine's Day with my girl.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I was just like, it would make sense with the brand. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I historically have. I think I dropped Cigar Love Story on Valentine's Day, but this time I'm gonna sit it out, just vibe out, load up for the EP to come out, and then get ready for the tour side of things. And I see Sean in the chat. He says, "Haha, you can't." Oh, cool. March, end of March, last 2 weeks. Stay tuned to your boy, Heartless Romantic.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming through to Behind the Music. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is amazing.
That's today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more conversations with artists in Canada.